My wife yelled in front of everyone, "If you leave, you'll crawl back begging within weeks." I didn't defend myself, didn't explain what I'd put on hold for her. I stood up quietly, said one word, and answered a call I'd promised myself never to take again. I'm 40, been married for 12 years, and I just learned that some people think you've forgotten who you used to be because you chose to be different for them. Before her, I was someone else. Completely different life. High-pressure career in international consulting, traveling constantly, 3 weeks in Singapore, 2 weeks in London, back home for 4 days, then off to Dubai, made excellent money, had an apartment I barely lived in. No real roots anywhere, no real relationships, just work, hotels, airports, and the occasional video call with family. I met her at a conference. She was working registration. We talked during a break. She was funny, grounded, worked as a teacher, had a life that seemed stable, real, everything mine wasn't. We exchanged numbers, started talking. I flew back to see her, again and again. 6 months later, I was in love. She told me early on she couldn't do the travel, couldn't be with someone who was gone all the time, said she needed stability, partnership, someone present. I understood, told her I'd figure it out. I had an offer sitting on my desk, partnership track with my firm, would mean more travel, more responsibility, more money, double my salary. I'd been working toward it for 8 years. Everyone in my life told me to take it, my parents, my mentors, my colleagues. I turned it down, took a regional role instead. Same company, but based locally. No international travel, 50% pay cut, 9 to 5 schedule. I could be home every night, could build the life she wanted, the life I was starting to want too. We got married 6 months later, bought a house in her hometown, had 2 kids. I became a local dad, coached youth soccer, attended PTA meetings, did the school pickup rotation, lived a completely different life than I'd planned, and I was okay with it. Happy, even. For years. Watched my kids grow up. Was there for first steps, first words, first days of school, things my father had missed because he traveled for work, things I'd assumed I'd miss too. But my wife changed, slowly, started making comments about money, about my job, about how I wasn't ambitious anymore, how I'd settled, how I was wasting my potential. "You used to be someone," she'd say. "I'm still someone. You know what I mean. You had a career. Now you just have a job. I have a family. That was the point. Other people manage both. Other people aren't present. I am. We agreed on this. We agreed 12 years ago. Things change. Last month, it came to a head. We were at a dinner party, her friends, their husbands, everyone talking about careers, promotions, success stories. One of her friends' husbands had just made partner at his law firm. Everyone congratulated him. His wife was beaming. My wife was quiet, withdrawn. On the drive home, she started. "Do you ever regret it?" "Regret what?" "Giving up your career. For me." "I didn't give it up. I changed it. There's a difference. You took a massive pay cut. You turned down partnership. You completely altered your trajectory. To be here. With you. With our kids. That was the point. But do you regret it?" "No." "Do you regret asking me to do it?" She didn't answer, just stared out the window. That silence told me everything. The comments got worse, in front of the kids, in front of friends, little digs about my career, about how I'd peaked early and settled, about how I could have been doing so much more. I tried to talk to her, multiple times, told her the comments hurt, that I'd made choices I was proud of, that I was happy with the life we'd built. She'd apologize. Say she didn't mean it. Then do it again 2 days later. 3 weeks ago, we were at another party, her work event this time. Teachers, administrators, some parents. I knew most of them, made small talk, helped set up tables, played my role. One of her colleagues asked what I did. I explained my job, regional consultant, local projects, stable schedule. He seemed interested. Didn't you used to work internationally? I thought she mentioned that once. Yeah, before we got married. Different life. Why'd you stop? Before I could answer, my wife walked over. Had been drinking. Not drunk, but looser than usual. He stopped because I asked him to, she announced. Couldn't handle being alone, needed him here, so he gave up his big fancy career to play house. Everyone went quiet. I felt my face get hot. That's not how it happened, I said. Isn't it? You were going to make partner, travel the world, make double what you make now. But I said I needed you here and you just... She snapped her fingers, gave it all up. We discussed it. We both agreed. I agreed because I was scared of being alone. But you just rolled over. Didn't even fight for what you wanted. Just said yes, dear, and took the demotion. It wasn't a demotion. It was a choice. It was weakness. The room was silent now, everyone staring. Her colleague who'd asked looked mortified. I felt small, humiliated, trapped. Can we talk about this at home? Why? Everyone here knows you gave up your career. Might as well know why. Might as well know you let me control your entire life. I didn't let you control anything. We made decisions together. Did we? Or did I tell you what I wanted and you just did it? Like you always do. Like you've done for 12 years. I stood up, grabbed my jacket. I'm leaving. Of course you are. Running away, like always. I'm not running. I'm giving you space to figure out what you're actually trying to say here. That's when she said it. Voice loud, everyone hearing. If you leave, you'll crawl back begging within weeks. You need me. You've built your whole life around me. You're nothing without this family. I looked at her colleagues watching, at the humiliation she'd just served me in front of everyone. Didn't defend myself. Didn't explain what I'd given up, what I'd put on hold, what I'd sacrificed gladly. I just stood there, took a breath, and said one word. Watch. Then I walked out, got in my car, drove home, and answered a call I'd promised myself never to take again. Update 1. The call was from my old boss, the one who'd offered me partnership 12 years ago. He'd been calling every few years, checking in, seeing if I was ready to come back. I always said no. Always said I was happy where I was. Always said my family came first. This time, I didn't say no. I'm listening. He was surprised. Really? After all these years? Things change. What do you have? Same as before. Partnership track, international projects, based here but significant travel, probably 60% of the year. Compensation packages, substantial. How substantial? He named a figure. Triple my current salary, plus bonuses, plus equity in the firm, plus international cost of living allowances. When would I start? We'd need a transition period, but you could start building your portfolio immediately, be fully operational in 3 months. I need 2 weeks to think about it. Take the time, but don't take too long. This role won't stay open forever. I hung up, sat in my car, in my driveway, looking at the house we'd bought together, the life we'd built, the choices I'd made, and realized I wasn't sure I wanted them anymore. My wife came home an hour later. I was in the kitchen, packing my work bag for the next day, acting normal. Where did you go? She asked. I left, like I said I was going to. You just walked out, in front of everyone. You humiliated me in front of everyone. Walking out seemed reasonable. I was drunk. I didn't mean... Yes, you did. You've been building to that for months, maybe years. Tonight you just said it out loud. I was angry. About what? About choices we made together? About the life you asked me to build? I never asked you to give up everything. You asked me to be present, to be here, to prioritize family. I did that. And now you resent me for it. She sat down. I don't resent you. You just called me weak in front of your colleagues. You said I rolled over. You said I let you control my life. That sounds like resentment. I was frustrated. With what? With me? With the marriage? With the fact that I actually did what you asked instead of choosing career over family? She didn't answer. Just stared at the table. I got a call, I said. From my old firm. She looked up. Why? They want me back. Partnership track. Same role I turned down 12 years ago. You said no, right? I said I'd think about it. Her face changed. You're not serious. I'm very serious. You can't just leave. What about the kids? What about our life? What about it? According to you, I'm nothing without this family. I'm weak. I rolled over. I gave up everything. Maybe it's time to take it back. That's not what I meant. Then what did you mean? She couldn't answer. Because she knew what she meant. She'd meant exactly what she said. I have 2 weeks to decide, I said. I'm going to use them. Update 2. The next 2 weeks were tense. We barely spoke. I went to work, came home, helped with the kids. But the warmth was gone. The partnership was gone. We were just 2 people living in the same house. My old boss sent information. Contract details, project portfolios, testimonials from people I used to work with. Everything looked good. Everything looked like the life I'd left behind. The life I'd given up willingly. But now that willingness felt different. Felt like maybe I'd given up too much, too easily, without demanding that she appreciate it, without making sure she understood what I'd sacrificed. My wife tried to talk several times. I deflected, said I was thinking, said I needed space, said she'd made it clear how she felt and now I needed to figure out how I felt. One night she broke down. Please don't do this. Please don't leave us. I'm not leaving the kids. I'm considering taking a job. That's different. You'll be gone all the time. That's the same as leaving. Like I was going to be 12 years ago, when you asked me to stay? That was different. How? We were building something, starting a family. Now the family is established. The kids need you here. They'll need me no matter where I work, and apparently you don't need me at all. You just need someone to resent for making your life too comfortable. That's not fair. What you said at that party wasn't fair. What you've been saying for months wasn't fair. I'm just responding to reality. She tried another approach. What about the money? We'd have to restructure everything. I'd have to manage the household alone, the kids' activities, everything. You mean you'd have to do what millions of other spouses do? What my mother did when my father traveled? What plenty of families figure out? I didn't sign up for that. And I didn't sign up to be called weak and controlled, but here we are. She cried. I felt bad, but I didn't comfort her. Couldn't. The hurt was too deep. The humiliation too fresh. Day 13, I called my old boss. I'm in, but I have conditions. Name them. I want 6 months of the year maximum. Not 8, not 10, 6. That's going to limit your project scope. I know, but my kids are important. I'm willing to travel, but I'm not willing to disappear. I can work with that. Anything else? I want it in writing. Contract clause. 6 months maximum. If they try to push past that, I can walk without penalty. Done. When can you start the transition? 4 weeks. I need to wrap up current projects and prepare my family. Welcome back. I hung up. Felt a mixture of relief and dread. I was doing it. Going back to the life I'd left, but differently this time, with boundaries, with protections for my family, with leverage I hadn't had before. But I was still leaving the life I'd built, the daily presence I'd maintained, the choice I'd made 12 years ago, and part of me wondered if I was making a massive mistake. Update 3. I told my wife that night. We were in the kitchen. Kids were in bed. She was doing dishes. I was drying. I took the job. She dropped a plate. It shattered in the sink. What? The partnership. I accepted. I start transition in 4 weeks. You didn't even discuss it with me. You didn't discuss humiliating me publicly. Guess we're even. This is different. This affects the whole family. So did your comments. So does your resentment. So does you treating me like I'm less than because I chose family over ambition? I never said you were less than. You said I was weak. You said I rolled over. You said I gave up everything. In front of your colleagues. In front of people I have to see at school events and soccer games. She was crying. I was drunk. I told you I didn't mean it. But you did mean it. You've meant it for years. You just finally said it out loud. And now I'm making a different choice. What about us? What about our marriage? What about it? You made it clear you don't respect my choices. Don't respect the sacrifices I made. So I'm making choices you will respect. Or at least choices you can't call weak. This is vindictive. This is self-preservation. You told me I'd come crawling back begging, that I need you, that I'm nothing without this family. Let's test that theory. I didn't mean it like that. Yes, you did. You meant I'd be lost without you, unable to function, desperate to come back. Well, let's see. Let's see if the man who built an international career before you can survive without your approval. She left the kitchen. I heard her crying in the bedroom. Part of me wanted to follow, to comfort her, to take it all back. But I didn't, because I wasn't sure I wanted to take it back. Wasn't sure staying was the right choice anymore. Wasn't sure being present was worth being diminished. Update 4. The transition was brutal. Telling my current company, they were disappointed but understanding. Telling the kids was worse. My daughter cried. My son went quiet. Both asked why I was leaving, why I was choosing work over them. I'm not choosing work over you. I'm choosing a different kind of work. I'll still be here. Just not every day. But you'll miss stuff. Games, performances, everything. I'll miss some things. But I'll be at important things. And when I'm home, I'll be really home. Not distracted by work. Not tired from the daily grind. Really present. They didn't understand. Too young to get it. Just knew Dad was leaving more often. Just knew things were changing. And they blamed me. My wife blamed me too. Started telling people I'd chosen career over family, that I'd abandoned my commitments, that after 12 years of being present, I was running away. Her friends reached out, some supportive, some critical. One asked me directly, "Are you having a midlife crisis?" Maybe, or maybe I'm finally standing up for myself. By leaving your family? I'm not leaving my family. I'm leaving a situation where I'm not appreciated, where my choices are mocked, where my sacrifices are turned into weaknesses. She apologized. She apologized for being drunk, not for what she said, not for meaning it. And she's been saying versions of it for months. The party just gave her an audience. So you're punishing her. I'm protecting myself. There's a difference. My first trip was 3 weeks after starting. 2 weeks in Asia. Client meetings, project kickoffs. The same rhythm I used to know. Hotel rooms, conference rooms, airport lounges. It felt familiar, comfortable, like putting on an old jacket that still fit. But it also felt wrong, called home every day. Video chatted with the kids. They were fine. My wife managing okay, life continuing without me, just like she'd managed before we met, just like she could manage now. When I got home, the house felt different, quieter. The kids were excited to see me, but also distant. 2 weeks was a long time for them, long enough to adjust to Dad not being there, long enough to start building new routines. My wife was cordial, polite, but cold. We slept in the same bed, but might as well have been miles apart. No touching, no talking, just 2 people occupying space. "How was the trip?" she finally asked on day 2. "Successful. Projects are moving forward." "Good. How are the kids?" "Fine. Adjusted, like they always do." "They seemed distant." "What did you expect? You left. They're protecting themselves." "I didn't leave. I went on a work trip." Semantics. We sat in silence, everything that needed to be said floating between us, but neither willing to say it. "Do you regret it?" she asked finally. "Taking the job?" "Yes." "No." Do you regret what you said at the party? I already apologized for that. You apologized for being drunk, not for meaning it. Do you regret meaning it? She looked at me, really looked at me, and said the thing I'd been afraid she'd say. No, I don't, because it was true. You did give up everything, and some part of me has always wondered if you resented me for it. I didn't resent you. I loved you enough to choose differently. But now you're choosing differently again, so maybe you did resent it. I'm choosing differently because you made it clear you don't value what I chose, that you see it as weakness. I'm not living with that anymore. So where does that leave us? I don't know. Where do you want it to leave us? She didn't answer, just got up, left the room. And I sat there wondering if my marriage was over and if I even cared anymore. Final update. It's been 4 months. I'm traveling about 40% of the time now, building up to the 50% mark in my contract, making more money than I've made in over a decade, getting recognition, getting respect, getting everything I gave up 12 years ago. Except I'm also getting divorced. My wife filed last month, said she couldn't live with someone who was gone so much, who'd chosen career over family, who'd proven her right about being weak by needing to prove her wrong. The irony isn't lost on me. I made myself present to keep her. Then she resented my presence. Then I made myself less present to earn her respect. Then she left me for being absent. Some people can't be pleased. Some people need to be unhappy with you no matter what you do. Some people will resent your sacrifices until you stop making them, then resent you for stopping. The kids are struggling, spending time with both of us, confused about why Dad left more and then Mom left entirely. I'm trying to explain, trying to make them understand that sometimes people grow apart, that sometimes sacrifices aren't appreciated, that sometimes you have to choose yourself. But they're kids. They don't understand nuance. Don't understand that their mom's humiliation of me was the beginning of the end. Don't understand that I tried for 12 years to be who she wanted, and it still wasn't enough. My old colleagues joke that I never left, that I just took an extended sabbatical, that I'm back where I belong. Maybe they're right. Maybe I was always meant for this life. Maybe my attempt at domestic stability was the deviation, not the career I'm back to. My ex-wife tells people I abandoned the family, that I put career over commitment, that she was right about me being weak because I couldn't handle her criticism. Her friends believe her. My kids might too, eventually. But I know the truth. I didn't leave because I was weak. I left because staying meant accepting disrespect, meant watching my choices be mocked, meant being told I was nothing without her, while simultaneously being told I gave up everything for her. When she yelled, "You'll crawl back begging," she was betting on my dependence, on me needing the family identity more than I needed self-respect. She lost that bet. I didn't crawl back, didn't beg, didn't prove her right. Instead, I answered a call I'd promised never to take, went back to a life I'd left behind, proved I could be someone without her approval, proved that choosing family didn't make me weak. It made me someone who could make hard choices. I'm 40, divorced, traveling again, making money I once walked away from, rebuilding a career I once set aside, learning that sometimes the sacrifice isn't appreciated until you stop making it. And by then, it's too late to go back. The life you built is gone. The person you built it with doesn't want you anymore. And you're left wondering if the choice you made 12 years ago was right, or if you should have known then what you know now, that some people will resent you for staying and resent you for leaving, and there's no winning with them. There's only choosing which version of yourself you can live with. And I chose the version that doesn't beg,